What is that fucking word in Korean? 안녕하세요. It is I, Gips, once again gracing your screen. Today we're going to be ranking the top reasons why you should be benching 225 pounds. Starting with number 1, building muscle. You guys might ask yourself, why do I even care about benching 225? Like, it's just the bench press. You're right, it is just a bench press. But to a lot of gym bros such as myself and gym gals, it is a testament of one's integrity, your discipline, your willingness to persevere, to gain, to stick to something and adhere to it in order to attain something as coveted as a 225, 2-plate bench. So bench pressing, it's obviously a chest exercise. It involves shoulders, it involves triceps as well. It would be incorrect for me to say that, you know, being able to bench 225 doesn't cause muscle, because it is a combination of needing strength and muscle and technique to get there. But in terms of like a specific exercise that is best optimized to build muscle, I don't think that it's gonna be number 1 for the chest, shoulders, or triceps. I think it's up there, but I think it gets topped out by dumbbells, and I'll tell you why. Because you can get a bit of a deeper stretch with dumbbells. So, you know, you have that fixed bar on your bench. When you're bringing it all the way down, once it touches your chest, you can't go any farther than that. Generally, when you have dumbbells, obviously you have one in each hand. It's not locked to your chest, right? So as far as you can go, you can get a deeper stretch with those dumbbells. You know, it's probably still quite high. You know, I still use it in most of my training. I do incline bench, and it has actually helped me a lot with my upper breast development, which you can't really see, but I'm gonna pop it for you guys a little. Now, in terms of building muscle, being able to bench 225 pounds, I'm gonna put it in A tier. Not quite S, just because there's a couple more exercises that you can hit that will be a bit, in my opinion, more optimized for getting the stretch, getting more mechanical tensions, but we can't deny that it does build muscle quite well. I was able to build a lot of muscle in the early years, just raw benching. So the second reason why I believe a lot of us gym people see 225 as that coveted number is because we believe, at least I did, that it was gonna lead to more girls wanting me and loving me. So next up on our list, to get guys or girls. Okay, so this applies for women. Maybe, to be honest with you, I've seen a few girls, just a couple in my times at gyms, bench 225, and it was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie, like, it made me more attracted to them because, like, dang, that girl has power. You know, she could protect me potentially if I'm being attacked, like, from the rear and I'm vulnerable, you know, from that position. Like, she could get me. You know, a lot of us, when we first start lifting, we do it to get girls, right? Like, I, for example, start off really small. Sometimes people start off really overweight. So wherever you start off, you know, a lot of times, you know, how we look and how we believe that the other opposite sex or what we want to attract sees us, you know, has a big impact on why we train so hard or want to hit these numbers so much. The more I started bench pressing, even after I hit 225, and that was years ago, probably like 2014, I didn't really see any direct correlation with it getting girls for me. So if you think about it this way, you know, you're not just gonna have a barbell around with you all day. Like, you could be walking down the street and, like, you know, in your mind you could bench 225, but then that chick walking down on the other side of the sidewalk that sees you, she's not gonna know that. You know what I'm saying? All she can see is, like, how nice your face looks, how nice your skin is, how nice your hair is, and your fit, right? Even though internally you know, okay, maybe none of that really matters because I rep out 2 plates. So if you look at it in terms of that, it doesn't really have like a high priority. You know, in reality, the only people that could see someone being attracted to you for being able to bench 225 is really just gonna be gym girls or gym guys. Pretty much gonna be specific to that because nobody outside of the gym is really gonna care if you can bench 225. And even if they do know you can bench 225, it probably won't affect them liking you because you were probably annoying before or after you were able to bench 225. So at the end of the day, I don't really think that benching 225 is really gonna help you at all get guys or girls in the grand scheme of things. So I'm really gonna have to put this in D tier, guys. Like, it it don't do much, you know, because if it really did, I would be married now, and I'm 31 and I'm single. So I don't think so. I still like it, but All right, guys, next up on the list is probably one of my favorite reasons for being able to bench 225, and that's gonna be aura. Being able to bench the famed 225, pulling up to the gym in your pump cover or whatever you wear, loading up the bar, bench. Everyone looks, they see, okay, he kind of like rep that like speed reps. And that was like a plate, that was 135. They don't even know how high you're gonna go. Then you put on a quarter, 185, bomb, you power like 2, 3, you're warming up for that top. So they're like, yo, this guy's gonna be pushing, he might be pushing some big boy weight. Then you slap on that 2 plates, boom. Then you're just, I came from nothing on the bench press. Like, for people that know, I didn't come from a strong benching, pressing background. I literally started only being able to bench 65 pounds. So it took me almost a year of a lot of dedication in terms of training, eating a lot of food, going from like 100 pounds, because I started off at 100 pounds, all the way up to 145, and that's when I got my first 2-plate bench, and I was very happy. Ever since that point, when I would see other people hit 2 plates, like I would be like, okay, like that guy is like pretty badass. The optics of seeing those 2 plates, and somebody repping it out for reps just confirms like, okay, this person has hit a level of standard in terms of like the gym economy system that like, that I think 2 plates is basically the same thing as making like 6 figures. You're making 100K minimum a year. Like, okay, this guy may not be the richest person in the world, but like he's got some band, he's got some juice. So I think that, being able to bench 225, it's pretty freaking cool. You'll just have like that aura around the, that raw, like, I've been in the gym for a bit, like I've been here for a minute. Like I'm gonna slap on 1, I'm gonna slap on 2, watch that. You don't even know, I might slap on 3, who knows? It just shows that like you've been around the block. I give that a pretty high rating. I'm gonna say aura S tier, because 2 plates, when you're repping it, not everybody can do that, and it's just pretty badass. So S tier for aura. All right, guys, next up on the list we have is milestone, okay? Depending on who you ask, 225 can be a crossing point, almost a rite of passage for some people. Your goal as a lifter back in the day, at least when I first started, was to bench 2 plates, to squat 3 plates, and to be able to deadlift at least 4 plates. And once you got there, it was kind of like, okay, like I'm actually a lifter now. Like I can call myself a fitness person. The community saw 225 as like okay, once you reach this threshold, you are now considered one of us. I knew people that like almost could have like just repped it out like on day 1. They were just larger people. They were just kind of built for strength. But for a lot of us like weaker people that started off with kind of nothing, it was like a big milestone. Once you get it, it's kind of like, okay, you've conquered that mountain, and there's a lot more. There's 3 plates, 4 plates for other people, crazy people, then 5 plates, right? Like it doesn't really stop, kind of tapers off. But it's kind of like the first main big one. I'm a squatter. I love squatting more than benching. But a lot more people got into like upper body lifting, like benching and pull-ups and stuff, more than they did deadlifting and squatting. So that's why, you hear people say like, oh, how much you bench? How much you bench, dog? Rather than like, oh, how much you deadlift? What do you like upright row these days? So it was really cool, but it wasn't like the biggest thing in the world for me. It really just depends on who you ask. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to put it at B tier. Like, it's pretty cool, but ultimately, I don't think it's like the end all be all. It is something to cross for sure, and it was a nice time, but I think there's more cool stuff to hit besides 225. So it's gonna have to go right in the middle. All right, guys, next up we have Rarity. So this one is a little bit of a tricky one depending on who you ask. In the grand, general population, 225 is like unheard of. You take your average basic NPC Joe right off the street out of freaking Walmart parking lot, put him underneath 225, he'll probably get crushed. But if you go to like a powerlifting gym or maybe like a specific bodybuilding gym that has like competitors, people on gear, like really, really serious people, you'll probably see it a lot more often than not. So it's kind of like 50-50, right? Like I think in total, it is pretty rare. There's like a stat that says, you know, if you can bench 225, you're stronger than 99% of people. I've seen that stat float around the internet quite some time. I haven't really looked into it. I can believe it. You know, how many billion people are here on the earth, and how many of those people strength train to the point where they could even hit 225? Probably very little. It really just depends. I think it's pretty rare, but it's not like some insane, like, okay, you're like an absolute freak of nature if you can bench 225. I truly believe that a person with average genetics, if they trained hard enough and they ate a substantial amount of food and protein and they were just consistent, I think a good amount of people, at least 50% of the entire world population, could probably bench 225. That's a completely made up fact. It's just something that I know because I'm able to bench well over 225, and I think I'm, you know, a bit above average in terms of chest strength. I think it mostly comes down to effort. I don't think a lot of people in the world have the effort nor the discipline to get to 225, but I think a lot of them do have the capability to hit 225. So I'm gonna put it in between B and C. If you talked about the general population, I think I'm gonna put it in a B tier because yes, not a lot of people in the world can bench 225. If you go to like a powerlifting gym or a specific gym that a lot of people train seriously, you'll most likely find a pretty good amount of people that can bench 225. Not that it doesn't make it any less cool, but I think just being able to bench it for one, it's not as rare as you think it could be. Up next, we have self-confidence. Now, this is gonna be a really good one. You know, in the world of fitness, strength training, taking care of your body, your physique, a lot of it has a big effect, in my opinion, on the self-confidence of yourself. You know, just like the saying, you have a strong body, you have a strong mind, vice versa. So if you train your body for it to be a lot stronger, you know, over time, you gain a certain level of strength, you improve over time, I do believe that it has a direct correlation with your self-confidence because you are gonna see yourself as a stronger individual. Therefore, you're gonna be more confident in your abilities to do things in and out of the gym. Once I was able to hit 225, I did get a little big man in campus kind of syndrome going on just for a little bit there. Before I started lifting, I was a small kid. You know, I was quick, I was funny, I was not strong. I was not known for strength at all. So by the time I started lifting in college, and then when I hit that coveted 225, you know, I felt like, wow, like I'm actually like a strong person now. You know, I never made it once on the dean's list, but I am in the 225 club. It just elevates you overall. It's like you're just gonna feel better about yourself. So I think it has a very strong correlation to self-confidence. So I'm gonna actually put this right behind Aura in S tier. That's all you can ask for, to be honest with you. Like, how much cooler can that be? And the last, but not the least on our list, is gonna be respect from your peers. Basically, the people in your community, your gym community, maybe even your friends, maybe even your family. Anybody like that can apply to this. It really boils down to like them, you know, giving a fuck about lifting. If you ask your teacher and you tell them, hey, I bench 225, you know, they might be like, oh, wow, Gerard, that is fantastic. Did you finish your homework for today? And then maybe some other teacher, maybe like your gym teacher, would be like, dude, what the, I'm so proud of you, dog. You're my favorite student. My friends that I've lifted with over the years, I think it had a lot more relevance in the early years, to be honest, because many of us had to build our way to 225. So whenever somebody was able to get to that 2 plates, it was kind of like a big celebration, like, woo, dude, like, let's get it, like, I can't wait for my turn, you know what I mean? For your general person that goes to the gym, resistance trainer person, I think that it is respectable. It's not like the highest achievement that you can attain, but it's one of the golden standards in the fitness community. I'm gonna have to give this a solid A because you're a part of us, okay? You can bench 225. You're not to be taken lightly. Let me know your thoughts. Again, remember, this is my opinion, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!